pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Jackie, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Evans,
Here.
Vice Mayor Russell,
Here.
Mr. Haskins,
Here.
Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Mr. Redmond,
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Here. All right, and we have an exciting night tonight. It's always nice when we can welcome a new police officer to our group. So, Chief Mills, you want to take over?
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Council. So yeah, as you said, this is an exciting time for us. Council's heard a lot about Thomas Brown and the other officer that we'll be swearing in the next month's meeting, but just a brief bio on him, very brief, but 14 years with the City of Whitehall in the Columbus area, a very active, busy town, a town where they don't have as much time to do some of the community policing things that we have time to do here. That's one of the things that attracted Officer Brown to us. He finished in the top 3 in our process. Background was exemplary. We were very excited. He was in another process. He was highly sought after. Looking to move to the Cincinnati area is what prompted him to apply in some of the area departments down here, but he was highly sought after. We are very excited and proud that we were able to land him, and we're very excited to introduce him. Officer Brown, if you'd come up. His former deputy chief described him as the go-to guy in Whitehall, and he was also the Officer of the Year in 2019. So by all accounts, we are getting an absolutely stellar officer. We're very excited to bring him on board. If I could have Mr. Manier here to administer the oath of office. You can read along with this copy, and that'll be the one that you sign.
You can come in front if you want to take pictures.
This is an outstanding acquisition by an outstanding police department, so we're both lucky. If you raise your right hand, take the oath of office, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and the Charter of the City of Milford, and faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge your duties as a Milford police officer to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
Signatures out of the way. Sign this one too for the official record.
Thank you.
All right, now let's do the badge presentation. Tonight is the culmination of a process that began in April. The selection process has many aspects. The written test takes approximately 2 hours. 2 oral interviews take approximately an hour combined. The fitness test, less than 10 minutes. But the background investigation, 40 hours. There's a reason for that. We are very selective about who we let wear the uniform and badge of a Milford police officer. Tonight, you officially earn the right to wear our badge and are officially indoctrinated as a member of the Milford Police Department, a family with a heritage that extends back to the 1800s. You're also now a member of one of the greatest professions on earth that is also deeply rooted in history and symbolism. The first police badges were worn as a coat of arms by knights. The coat of arms identified the knight and his allegiance to justice, chivalry, and his royal leaders. Police officers swear to protect and serve, the same as knights from the medieval era were often sworn in and asked to protect the weak, defenseless, helpless, and fight for the general welfare of all. Tonight, the badge is new and shiny. Over the years, it will acquire scratches and scuffs, but it's your responsibility to ensure that it remains untarnished. For when an officer tarnishes his or her badge, they tarnish the badge of every officer, including those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Every Milford police officer is required to take the IACP, that's the International Association of Chiefs of Police, Oath of Honor. It's now time for you to take that solemn pledge with me. If you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor.
On my honor.
I will never betray my badge.
I will never betray my badge.
My integrity, my character.
My integrity, my character.
Or the public trust.
Or the public trust.
I will always have the courage to hold myself
I will always have the courage to hold myself
and others accountable for our actions.
and others accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution,
I will always uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the agency I serve.
and the agency I serve.
Thank you. It's now my pleasure to present you with the Milford Police Badge. The badge is to be worn over your heart for two reasons. First, to ever remind you of your pledge to protect. And secondly, because the left arm was the arm that often held the shield, protecting the heart and leaving the dominant hand to fight with a weapon. And we've discussed that we'd like to have his wife do a ceremonial badge pinning, for at least for the photo opportunity. So if we could have Mrs. Brown come forward. And if nothing else, it's a new suit. Hold it over. All right, very good. Yes, a round of applause for that. Remember, the name on your badge represents who you serve, and the name on your nameplate represents who raised you. It's your responsibility to represent both with honor and integrity, as you have for the past 14-plus years. Next, I'd like to present you with the Milford Police Department Challenge Coin. There are varying tales about the origin of challenge coins. Some say it dates back to the Roman Empire, while others credit a young fighter pilot from the First World War. For us, it's a symbol of our honor and constant reminder that we are doing something worthwhile. On the front, it proudly displays our core values that every officer is committed to living by. On the back, you'll find our motto, am I doing the right thing at the right time, in the right way, and for the right reason? You are to carry this coin with you at all times, and you're permitted in certain situations to give it to a citizen who exemplifies our core values. So I'll pass this to you now in a handshake. That goes in your pocket, and expected to carry that with you. In closing, Thomas, remember that I too have stood where you stand in front of family, friends, members of the Milford Police Department. I know that Officer Green and Sergeant West are here tonight on their own time to support you, and residents of our community as well. As I swear my oath, I know that tonight you feel the same immense pride, honor, and sense of accomplishment, as well as the awesome responsibility that is bestowed upon you. This is my charge to you. Every time you place that badge on your chest for the rest of your career, I hope you'll reflect on the feelings you have tonight. And remember one of my favorite quotes, if you do this job properly, there is nothing nobler you will do with your life. Thank you.
Welcome to Milford and welcome your family to our community. Just glad you're here.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah, do you want to? You can do a group picture, and you're free to leave if you want to. Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead and do a picture. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Whatever you want.
Sure. Yeah, everybody. We'll get out of the way.
What are your kiddos' names?
Yeah, what are your kids' names?
Sorry.
Owen and Emma, sorry.
And then Emma.
This is my son Owen, my daughter Emma, my wife Anna, my parents in the back is Marilyn and Larry, my mother and father-in-law Mark and Tammy, and Joanna, she's from Germany, she's our au pair.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Awesome. Welcome.
Do you want group photo, all of us, you think? Or-
Sure. Everybody get in there. Yeah.
Chief, you need to get down, Chief.
Turn around, Joanne. All right, Jeff, come get it. Your family too.
Chief, do you want to get in one? Chief Mills?
Sure.
Get in one. Go with the chief.
Fortunately, I'm nice and short, so I can block anybody. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations, congratulations, and welcome to
Congratulations.
Milford.
All right, that moves us to the proceedings. I have a motion to approve the council meeting proceedings from June 21st.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Abstain.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
All right, and financial statements. Do I have a motion to adopt the May financial statements?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes. And a motion to receive the June financial statements.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
All right, that moves us to our public comment section. I don't see anyone from the public that wants to make a comment. Mr. Cooper? No. All right, so we will go on to standing Vice Mayor Russell, Administrative Services.
Woo-hoo, I get to read. I'm up first. Okay, the Administrative Service Committee meeting was held on July the 14th. I called the meeting to order at 4. Present was myself and Kim Chamberlain. Staff members were City Manager Michael Doss, Finance Director Pat Worthland, Assistant Finance Director Jewel Castillo, and Executive Assistant Jackie Bain. No visitors. Proceedings, we adopted those proceedings from the June 16th. We began with a discussion amending appropriation ordinances 2021-113 and 2022-129. Finance Director Pat Worthland discussed $7.44 million changes. A list of proposed amendments to the city's 2022 appropriations, transfers, and advances were reviewed with the committee. The increase in budgeted expenditures amounts to $7.4 million in total. Ms. Worthland noted that she is in the process of filing an amended certificate of estimated revenue, which will increase budgeted revenues by close to the same amount, $30 million total budget. These changes put the city's total budget at $30 million, the largest budget yet. This amazing city has quite a few irons in the fire, is what Ms. Worthland said. She's right. So then the committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance amending appropriation ordinances 2021-113 and 2022-129 by increasing the individual items as listed on the attached chart, totaling $7,389,511.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Then we discussed the nuisances for the institutional zone district. Mr. Doss discussed an ordinance that was passed in January 2020 establishing regulations for the amplified sounds and noises for the Milford River District. In looking at this further and basing it off Frontier Days entertainment that occurs at the American Legion and looking forward to the 5 Points Landing and any entertainment, all of these areas are zoned into institution. So a zoning map was reviewed. Mr. Doss recommended to establish a new noise ordinance that would identify the institutional district and set up perimeters for amplified sound Sunday through Thursday until 10 and Friday and Saturday till 11. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance establishing regulation of amplified sound within the city of Milford institutional district with amplified sound Sunday through Thursday until 10 and Friday and Saturday till 11.
Second.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Then we discussed a quote that we received regarding engineering services for evaluating and reducing discharge of phosphorus. Mr. Doss, on behalf of Wastewater Department Supervisor Dave Walker, discussed a quote from environmental engineering for the wastewater treatment plant as part of our NPDES permit. There are certain guidelines and criteria that we have to follow when we treat wastewater based off of this permit. One of the components of the NPDES permit is that it calls for a phosphorus discharge optimization evaluation plan. This will make us compliant with the state, showing how we discharge phosphorus. That's a mouthful. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing environmental engineering service to provide phosphorus discharge optimization evaluation plan for the city of Milford in the amount of $7,950.
Second?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Next up was the OPWC grant agreements, water supply and discharge line replacement projects. Mr. Doss discussed how both of the agreements are needed before we put the new water tower online. We have to upgrade our existing discharge and supply lines. The grant agreements information was reviewed with the committee. Both of these grants through the OPWC gives us 49% of the city of Milford, that the city of Milford pays, and 49% is from the OPWC, and then 51% is the city of Milford. This is for the Wallace supply line. The city's match on that is $403,920, and the city's match for the Garfield discharge line is $225,000. We have discussed utilizing our ARPA funds we received last year and the second half of that payment this year as our local match to that OPWC grant funds. So the committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Public Works Commission for the water supply and water discharge line replacement projects.
Second?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Next, we discussed the waste collection and recycling plan. This is regarding our waste collection with Rumpke. Mr. Doss discussed the history of the agreement with Rumpke of Ohio. The original contract was 1 to 3 year contract. We are currently on the 4th year, getting ready to enter the 5th year of the current contract agreement. We are working with the CLG because it is now going back out for bid. If we enter into this agreement, this will satisfy us until August of 2023. And if we have our agreement worked out with CLG Rumpke, we will have a new agreement to enter into potentially for the next 5 years. A spreadsheet was reviewed by the committee indicating our current monthly charges. Possible future contract information was also reviewed and discussed. So the committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing the city manager into an agreement with Rumpke of Ohio for an extension of the waste collection and recycling contract effective August 1, 2022, and continuing through July 31st, 2023.
Second?
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
And we had a discussion of some additional items for the service department to place in the entryway of the Milford Beach area, a no vehicle permitted sign in order to enforce no vehicles on the beach area. I understand there's Jeeps driving around on the beach. Also, a petition from Riverwalk Flats residents regarding their inability to see when pulling out of the complex. So the service department will eliminate one space on the left, so when you exit, people will have a better line of sight. So hopefully this will work. There being no further business, we adjourned at 4:45, and that was seconded by Ms. Chamberlain. So before we go any further, I'd like to move that we go into an executive session at the conclusion of tonight's meeting pursuant to Section 3.053 of the Milford City Charter for the purpose of the discussion with the city attorney of legal matters involving the city.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I went ahead of somebody seconding.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Russell. That brings us to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. A brief report this evening. I want to give everyone an update on Laurel Avenue Stormwater Improvement Project. Due to some supply chain issues, we're still waiting to order the trench drain, which is pivotal as part of that improvement project. So that's pushed the project back. We were hoping, when we had a neighborhood meeting with the folks on Laurel, we were hoping to have that project complete by the end of this month, and for matters outside of our control, we're not going to be able to do that. We are going to start just a portion of that project. We're anticipating next week, and we still we're hoping to have that on target, pushing it back, that project to be completed by the end of August. But there's a little bit of work that we can do in advance of waiting on that trench drain, and we hope to do that next week. Jim Trell Park Canoe and Kayak launch. As you're all aware, the city did receive a direct appropriation in the Ohio capital budget. I attended a Zoom meeting this morning with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, which is where this money will flow through. We should be getting an agreement here in the next week or so in regards to those monies. The county commission, Claremont County Commission, is meeting tomorrow to discuss and hopefully approve the community development block grants. That's another portion of funding that we applied for this canoe and kayak launch. I've been told that our project is very favorable, so I anticipate we'll receive those monies. Currently applied for a grant through Verizon for $50,000 for that project as well. If all of those funding entities come through, that canoe and kayak launch will be fully funded in the amount of $295,000 without using any local match or any tax dollars. That project we do anticipate being constructed in the early spring of 2023. Hopefully have that online for the public to use next spring. No standing committee meetings at this time. Reminders, August 10th is a planning commission meeting at 6 o'clock. And then August 16th is our next regularly scheduled city council meeting at 7.
All right, thank you, Mr. Doss. That brings us to Chief Mills and the police report.
Thank you, Mayor. You should have my June monthly report. I'll touch on some highlights. As always, Officer Dennis attended the monthly dive team training. In addition, all sworn members completed training on the new constitutional carry law, which took effect in June. Some notable occurrences: officers responded to a residence on Clartoma Drive for a subject brandishing a knife to neighbors. The subject was arrested and charged with aggravated menacing and criminal damaging. Officers also responded to an assault in progress on Mohawk Trail. The subject was arrested for domestic violence and subsequently found guilty and sentenced to 150 days in jail. While on patrol, Officer Clark initiated contact with 2 juveniles with a history of vandalism and property damage. One of the subjects fled, but Officer Clark took the second juvenile home and was released to his parents. As you may be aware, the following morning, the city restrooms were at the American Legion, or Riverside Park rather, were vandalized. So that case is under investigation with some pretty good suspects. We hope to be able to charge them and get restitution from that same juvenile a second time, because they were convicted of that just last year. So unfortunate that some of the juveniles find it entertaining to go into our public bathrooms and destroy them. So hopefully we send a stronger message this time. While investigating a domestic offense, officers happened upon an underage party in the 3000 building of the Riverwalk Apartments. Parents were called to the scene to pick up the children, and a small amount of vape pens and marijuana were confiscated for destroy. Officer Eshman met with Hamilton PD to retrieve an elderly resident who had become lost and turned up in one of their industrial parks. The elderly resident was taken home, and contact was made with their son, who was told where his mother's vehicle was. Information was also sent to Adult Protective Services on that case. Squad 2 coordinated with the Service Department to remove 2 large piles of dumped mulch. That was on the Friday of Frontier Days, if you recall, on Mohawk Trail. Some administrative items. You met Officer Thomas Brown tonight. Officer Ralph Hodges Jr. will swear in at the next council meeting. There were no notable incidents during the Frontier Day Parade or Festival. You may have noticed from Facebook that Charter Communications awarded us a grant that allowed us to purchase cameras for each of our cruisers, and we took delivery of our 2 unmarked vehicles for 2022 during June. Lastly, community relations items. Dare, Ohio recognized us for our 25 years of service to that program, and we participated in the MCFD Splash Park. That was a lot of fun. We held our Junior Police Academy in partnership with Miami Township, Goshen, and Loveland. We started planning on this year's Citizens Police Academy. I think we have 3 applicants this year. Unfortunately, that's kind of become the average. We would love to get more. Each department is given 10, so we have room for more. If you know anyone that would be interested in our Citizens Police Academy, please encourage them to apply. They can email me. They can stop down to the station. They can get it from our Facebook page. It might even be on our website now, but we'll come to you with the application if you're interested. It is an absolutely win-win situation. It's 1 night a week. There's no obligation. Some people say, well, I can't make all of them. That's not a problem. You can come back next year if you want to the ones that you missed. But yeah, we don't take roll call. It's a lot of fun. There's no expense to it. Everyone that's gone through it that I know of has raved about it. And it's open to council members too. So if you haven't gone through and you're interested, please consider that. Excuse me. I taught a self-defense class at the Timber Creek Summer Camp back in June. I taught one this morning at the Pebblebrook Summer Camp in partnership with Miami Township Police Department. Attended several ribbon cuttings. I saw several of you folks at those back in June. We allowed the Civil Air Patrol to use our fitness obstacle course. As you may be aware, that's one of our partnerships with Claremont County Civil Air Patrol. We logged 18 hours of bicycle or Segway patrol during the month of June, issued 25 cop watch notices, did 26 vacation house checks, and executed 672 extra patrols. So it was a busy month for us all the way around. That really concludes my report unless you have any questions.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to District Chief Miller, Fire and EMS.
Good evening. We recently had 5 new part-time employees complete a week-long orientation, just going over some basics of MCFD. They will now begin their transition into some regular shift work, so you'll start seeing some new faces out there. Later this month, we'll be interviewing 5 candidates for a vacant full-time position. Over the weekend, our cadets attended a cadet camp with other programs throughout Claremont County. It was all day on Saturday, and I can tell you that they came in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and they left in the evening a little worn out, but they all still love the game, so that's good. August 6th is our Blues and Brews event. The Big Trouble Blues Band, I think I said that right, will be performing at the American Legion Pavilion. We'll have food, drinks, and we'll be doing a split the pot. The event is being hosted by the Milford Community Firefighters Club, so that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us to council comments. Any council have any comments? Everybody's good? All right, then we'll move into new businesses, ordinances, and resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 22-157, an ordinance authorizing an extension agreement with Rumpke of Ohio Incorporated for waste removal for the city of Milford. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the municipality of Milford, Section 1. The council of City of Milford hereby elects to exercise the option to extend the current contract with Rumpke of Ohio for an additional 1-year term from August 1st, 2022 through July 31st, 2022. That should be 23. The city manager is hereby authorized to execute the extension agreement the terms and conditions of which are incorporated by reference herein pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-157, an ordinance authorizing an extension agreement with Rumpke of Ohio, Inc. for waste removal for the city of Milford.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-158, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinances 2021-113 and 22-129. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the City Finance Director to amend appropriation ordinances 2021-113 and 22-129 by increasing the individual items as set forth and listed on the chart attached hereto and fully incorporated herein pursuant to Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Said amendments total $7,389,511. Section 2, pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-158, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinances 2021-113 and 22-129.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-159, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Environmental Engineering Service to provide a phosphorus discharge optimization evaluation plan for the city of Milford. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of City of Milford hereby authorizes the city manager to enter into and execute an agreement with Environmental Engineering Service to provide a phosphorus discharge optimization evaluation plan with a contract amount of $7,950. The terms and conditions of the agreement are fully incorporated herein as of fully rewritten herein pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-159, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Environmental Engineering Service to provide a phosphorus discharge optimization evaluation plan for the city of Milford.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-160, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with the Ohio Public Works Commission for the water supply line and water discharge line replacement projects. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes city manager to enter into and execute an agreement with the Ohio Public Works Commission for the water supply line and water discharge line replacement projects. The terms and conditions to which agreement are fully incorporated herein pursuant to in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, pursuant to in accordance to Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Haskins,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond.
Yes.
Ordinance 22-160, an ordinance authorizing agreement with the Public Works Commission for the water supply line and water discharge line replacement projects.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
On this next ordinance, for my family and friends who will be watching this on tape, this will be one of the last of nearly 4,000 ordinances that I have prepared and read at council meetings, so that's for your benefit out there watching. Ordinance 22-161, an ordinance enacting Chapter 743 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, establishing a regulation of amplified sound within the City of Milford Institutional District. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby enacts Chapter 743 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio as follows. Chapter 743, Institutional District Sounds, 743.01, Definitions. 1. Amplified sound means music or other loud sound or noise, whether generated by live performance, radio, phonograph, television, tape player, compact disc player, computer, loudspeaker, or any other sound amplifying device. 2. Person means the owner, tenant, person in possession of premises, or person in control of the premises by reason of employment or agency, whether such ownership, possession, or control is exclusive or joint. A person shall include any corporate entity or partnership. 3. Institutional district is the business district located within the City of Milford as defined and set forth in the Milford zoning ordinance. 743.02, no person shall permit or allow amplified sound to be played or generated within the City of Milford Institutional District at 10 o'clock p.m. Sunday through Thursday or after 11 o'clock p.m. on Friday and Saturday. 73.03, any violation of this ordinance shall be a minor misdemeanor subject to a $150 fine on the first violation, a fourth-degree misdemeanor subject to a $250 fine on the second violation, a third-degree misdemeanor subject to a $500 fine on the third violation, and a second-degree misdemeanor subject to a $750 fine for each violation thereafter. Section 2, this ordinance amends and supersedes any ordinance, resolution, rule, or regulation which is clearly inconsistent herewith. Pursuant to, in accordance with Section 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance should become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ordinance 22-161, an ordinance enacting Chapter 743 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Milford, Ohio, establishing a regulation of amplified sound within the City of Milford Institutional District.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes. All right, that brings us to old business. I don't believe we have any old business, so do we have a motion to adjourn? So moved.
Executive session.
To executive session, that's right.
Oh, yeah,
We'll be coming back to close out the meeting.
Take that back.
Is there a motion?
So motion to adjourn to executive session.
Yes, to executive session. Second.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Haskins?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes. Okay.